My twin has slept or tried to sleep with every one of my boyfriends. Don't want her to meet current boyfriend of 8 months. This has happened with every single guy I've dated or been interested in. I 22F have only had 3 relationships before my current one with John 23M. My twin sister Sarah 22F has tried to interfere with all of them. 2 of my exes cheated on me with her. The third we broke up for other reasons, but Sarah still tried to seduce him. He was a good guy and always had boundaries with her, but that didn't stop her from trying. To the point of sending him nudes multiple times, then claiming, "Oops, wrong person," when he told her he wasn't interested. When that didn't work, she also tried to break us up by lying to my ex and our mutual friends that I was cheating. My ex didn't believe her, but some friends did. So yeah, that was fun to deal with. Then, when we were kids, like in middle/high school, if Sarah found out I had a crush, she went after the guy herself. I used to tell her those things because, well, isn't that what sisters do? She always used it against me. I told her I was working up the courage to ask my crush/the guy I was talking to prom. She then asked him and he said yes. She said he'd just been using me to get to her. Another time a few years before that, she announced to everyone in a class we shared that I liked this one boy who got bullied a lot. Kids then started teasing him even more and he hated me. I felt horrible for months. She thought it was the funniest thing ever. She also once told a teacher whose class I was doing bad in that I was into him and willing to do favors for better grades. That got reported and I had to go through this whole counseling thing before it was finally cleared up. It was extremely embarrassing. My sister just blew it off as a prank. There's so many other situations like this. She either gets guys who are interested in me to sleep with her or ruins my chances with them by making up bullshit to make me look bad. She's ruined some of my friendships lying about me too, told my best friend in high school I was gossiping meanly about her, and went so far as faking text messages. I don't know if she even actually wants these people for herself. You might think it's obviously jealousy, but sometimes I honestly think she just gets a kick out of messing with me. Anyway, I've finally got my life more together after wasting the first couple years of college on being depressed and a gaming addiction. I met my boyfriend John at a campus organization. I haven't told Sarah, but he ended up meeting my parents by accident today. I don't have much contact with them, but they decided to come for a surprise visit. They live over 5 hours away and do this a few times a semester, even though I've said I don't like it. But that's for another post. John was in my room with me when they got here. I had no choice but to introduce them. He knows I was holding off on having them meet because I don't have the greatest relationship with them. Sarah lives at home with my parents while going to college locally. I'm certain they're going to mention meeting my boyfriend. And then cue her insisting on coming with them the next time they surprise visit me. Also stalking my social medias to try to figure out who he is. I've tried to explain the issues I have with her to my parents. They think I'm overreacting. They say she just wants to know what's going on in my life. To be involved. Yes, that is the problem, her involvement. And, not to mention, we used to be closer before I lost trust in her to stop doing this shit, so I've seen what her own life is like. She does things my parents have no idea of. She takes party drugs sometimes. This wouldn't be a big deal, but she has no idea how to be responsible. She drives people around while drunk and high. My parents think she's with a friend studying on weekends, but she's actually clubbing in the city and then crashes with her friends for the night. I'm not sure how many real boyfriends she's had, but she's hooked up with a lot of guys the same night she met them. This has meant a few times she was scared of pregnancy. I've had to help her get Plan B. It sometimes feels like she sleeps with nearly any man that smiles at her, and told me she's even had sex with a few girls while wasted. However that's possible. She confides all these things to me, but whenever I need someone to talk to, she has no time. Never wants to hear anything unless she can save it as ammo. So I've gradually stopped telling her most things. If my parents knew all this, they might see where I'm coming from. It's not just random that I don't want her meeting my boyfriend. It's not because I want to hurt her or something. The problem is, our parents are really strict and traditional, and they'd probably kick her out if I told them any of that. They don't believe in sex before marriage. My boyfriend is the first person I've had sex with, and I'm afraid my sister could use that against me to them if she finds out. So what do? How can I keep Sarah from finding out about him and doing the same thing she's done with all my past boyfriends? How do I explain it to my parents?
Relevant comments. Crash B4ing. It seems like she has massive insecurities about being a twin, and she takes it out on you. Regardless, my response is the same. Her inability to deal with her emotions is not an excuse to treat you like shit. Distance yourself. Immediately. Block her, have your BF block her, and cut her out except for family obligations. If she asks, just tell her that you had someone invade your privacy on social media and you raised your privacy settings, which must have impacted her, and you'll check it when you have a chance. Be cordial and aloof. She's going to freak, given that so much of her time is spent making your life miserable, but she is 5 hours away and you have a door lock and a phone. If she gets involved again, start documenting. There is something called a no contact order that can be put in place to keep her out of your life. Threaten it, inform your parents that you have researched and are considering it. It may make them think about your comments a little differently.
OP. I'm coming to agree the best preemptive action is to block her. If she explodes over it, I can always just say I deleted my social media to focus on school or something. I forgot to mention she also has cyberstalked my ex-boyfriends and guys I liked, as well as guys she thought were into me instead of her, so yeah, I'll explain this to my BF and ask him to block her too so she can't find him. She could send one of her friends to look for our profiles, so I might have to block the ones I know too, but I wouldn't be surprised if at some point some friend of hers tells her I'm still there and she figures out she's blocked. Is this all too stupid? Would it be more likely to prevent her drama if I just be upfront about the blocking from the start? And insecurity could be a big part. She's obsessed with the idea that I could be prettier than her.
Sarah, do your parents know she keeps fucking your boyfriends? Whatever the case, you don't live with any of these people anymore. It may not feel like it, but you have total control over whether they meet or not.
OP. No, they don't. The first one was in high school and I wasn't supposed to be dating anyone, so I couldn't tell. I've now just told them that she gets too personally involved in my life and has told lies and gossip about me to other people. They think I'm being dramatic. Also, edit, I don't exactly have control, or my parents never would have met him today. Uneasy face.
Sarah. Well, their position is natural without them knowing the worst. You either tell them what happened or accept that they have no reason to think you aren't being overdramatic. And of course you have control. Tell them you don't want surprise visits and won't meet up with them if they try another one, and stick to it. You're an adult now, don't let them treat you like a child. Unfortunately, sometimes parents need harsh lessons in giving up control. Feel free to dish them out.
OP. I wonder sometimes if I could do more to limit their involvement in my life. I don't want to get too into it, but it used to be a lot worse. And I'm lucky they even agreed to pay for school out of state. They originally wanted me to stay local, but I insisted. Now they say, well, you can do this, but we want to check in now and then. I've suggested Skype calls, but they're set on actually visiting. I used to tell them I didn't have time for a visit on this or that day when they'd try to schedule them, and then they just started showing up at random. I'm afraid if I agree to scheduled visits, I open the door to them pushing their way into my life even more. But I cannot physically prevent them from coming here. I could refuse to see them, and have done so before when they showed up during exam week once. Ideally, I'd ask them over the phone to limit visits to a day we agree on once or twice a semester. I've done this before, they're agreeable, then the same thing keeps happening as though we never had the conversation. It's frustrating. I don't know why they feel the need to do this. I've never given them any reason to worry about me. Update. So I've made a lot of changes in my family life since I posted this a couple weeks ago. I first told everything to my boyfriend. He was shocked and assured me he'd never cheat on me with my sister or anyone else. He also respected that I didn't want her to meet him. I decided to take the advice given and block her on social media. She immediately noticed, like within 10 minutes after I'd blocked, she sent a text saying, "Did you block me on Instagram and Facebook?" So I didn't beat around the bush. I said yes because I didn't like how she's messed with my personal relationships. She tried to guilt trip me about how I hadn't told her about my boyfriend, which means my parents must have told her about him like I knew they would. She exploded at me because according to her she would never have tried to stalk him or anything, but I hadn't even gotten a chance to say I was worried she'd do this. She said at first, "So what does that say?" I told her I flat out didn't trust her to not try to take people from me. She called me psycho and selfish, but whatever really. I can't reason with her. She just never sees the problem with anything she's done. The way she thinks makes it like arguing with a young child almost. I blocked her number. I still feel kind of bad doing this because what if there was an emergency and she needed me? But we live hours apart, so I figure/hope my parents would be who she contacted in that case. Then, as for them, I also got a call from my mom soon after I blocked my sister, who wanted to know what I was doing because she was upset. She'd already heard my sister's side, which was just that I blocked her out of nowhere. So I tried to tell her my side. I did not tell her my sister's personal business about drugs and having sex. Like I said in the first post, I'm not going to fall to petty revenge. I just want her to stop interfering in my life. So all I said was that in the past she's been inappropriate with guys I've dated and has spread rumors about me, and it made me unable to trust her. My mom then wanted to know what I meant by inappropriate. My parents are really conservative and don't believe in having sex before marriage. She also got my dad on the call at this point. I told them the details didn't matter. She kept trying to go back to this point, even wanting to know if I had been having premarital sex. It was really frustrating. I told them the point I'm trying to make is that my sister has broken my trust. They began saying I should forgive her because they care about our family and don't want to see us fighting. Well, I'm not exactly fighting. I'm simply not going to be in contact with her. To them it's the same thing. Then they wanted me to come home for a weekend to discuss everything as a family. I said I wasn't going to do that, that I'd made my decision and have no time for a trip. They said they'd come to me then. That brought up how they show up for random visits even when I've said I don't like it. I told them I didn't want them doing that anymore, and if they did it again I wouldn't let them in or talk with them. So they flipped out. That was fun. I got to hear all how I'm constantly making problems and don't care about my family. I ended up having to block their numbers because they kept calling back. And blocking on Facebook because they were sending messages going back and forth between begging to talk and accusing me of being a terrible daughter and sister. I don't know WTF I'm going to do about them. They did threaten to stop paying for my college if I cut them out of my life. I unblocked them to say I want to be in touch with them and do love them, but I can't do the unexpected visits or them prying into my personal life. I said if they stop doing that then I'm happy to have a relationship with them. They had a million reasons why I'm in the wrong. I couldn't deal with it and reblocked them yesterday. So I don't know what my tuition deal is going to be now. My boyfriend at least has been really supportive during this shit. He thinks my parents are way out of line and my sister is crazy. He's really helped keep me as sane as I can be. Overall, I just feel really shitty. I wish any of them would ever listen to what I say. But if they won't, then what can I do besides put up with what you all pointed out was really controlling, or take more control back myself? It just sucks it has to be so final, I guess. I wouldn't mind a middle ground like planning a visit with them once in a while, or talking with my sister about non-personal things, but they want way more than I do.